I must confess that I'm looking nerd fresh. Minty clean like Chris. Sidewalks light up when I step. Batman symbol on my chest. Bruce Wayne fly fresh. So fresh. I'm fresh. Nerd fresh.
Hey, what's up, internet world? It's your boy Casino, and you back again on Street Nerds. Check it out. This is our review, spoiler full review for the Joker.
Heavy spoilers, don't hate us in the end.
That's right. We're warning you up front. So look, if you don't want any spoilers, you don't want to know all of the intricacies and the little morsels that's going on throughout the whole movie, get out of here now. Go look at our other video. We got a spoiler-free review that we put up, so you can check that one out and, get our opinions and our base opinions on the movie and if we go see it or not. So, all right, so you've been warned, so we're about to roll into it. All right, so first we're going to kick off with the homie Casanova. Kaz, give us your ideas, man. What you think?
All right, so I knew going into it what to expect a little bit. I was like, all right, they're not going to tie it into any other DC film we've seen.
Right.
We're not going to see any of the other characters that we fall in love with. So I figured that out from the top, jump in, let's go. Did not like the dancing. Sorry, I had to get that out. Get out of the way. Had to get that. Too much damn dancing.
Yay.
Too much damn dancing. If I wanted to see a ballerina flip, I would have seen a ballerina flip.
There was a lot of dancing.
But this was like Save the Last Dance Part 2. I'm good. I'm good. Other than that, it was great. I love it.
Save the Last Dance too.
But
oh man.
yeah. So I love the whole touching on the mental illness and his break. I loved how you're going in through his daily routine and you don't know if you're really seeing what he's saying or if this is all in his head.
Right.
That I caught onto that real quick, especially when he falls into or not falls into, but when he comes across his love interest in the movie. Someone was like, no, she ain't feeling him like that, but then all of a sudden he's kissing all on her and they're on dates and what. I'm like, something's just off. This is
that's
just
escalated.
real. Where's the storyline behind it? So I was already, my spider senses were tingling on that one. I was like, hold on.
Movie senses tingling.
Yeah, something's up with this. But yeah, so definitely was interested with that. Intrigued, drawn in, wanted to see how deep it was gonna go.
Yeah.
Even to the point where when he started killing people, were those deaths real? Was that not? A lot of it. You had said it when we left the theater, like by the end of the movie was the whole thing in his head in Arkham.
Yeah.
So it was real awesome how they played that out. I wasn't too much of a fan of the paint and the way, I loved the whole Joker being scarred the way he was, you know what I mean? Even the one with Heath Ledger, it wasn't a vat of boiling whatever chemicals.
Yeah.
It was these scars that he got, and you just never knew where those scars came from. They changed the origin every time. But my personal favorite was Jack Nicholson with the vat of chemicals and it changed him, and he used a peach makeup to make him look like he was normal. You know what I mean? But had that constant smile on his face. So. It was cool again, where he's battling with his own happiness, so he's trying to force himself to smile and all that. It was definitely deep, definitely a darker turn when you're thinking psychologically about the Joker, because we mostly just see him being manic and attacking off rip and finding that funny, So definitely a little more, like you said, cerebral. Get in there on the last, the spoiler-free here said that. Sorry. So the cerebral aspect of it all, more artsy film as you had said. Mm-hmm. So I liked a lot about that. Definitely, as Stretch had said in the last one, when it comes to the comic book aspect of the Joker, it was lackluster in that you didn't get a whole bunch of the manic craziness. There was some, but. Like the two guys that come to his apartment.
Oh yeah.
That was a great scene as well. Didn't expect to go that route. That was
intense.
Yeah, very intense. But yeah, for the most part, like I said in the last video, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Second time around, I could wait for DVD or whatnot, stream it. But we're definitely telling anybody else, go check it out in the theaters real quick before somebody spoils it for you. But other than that, that's my 2 cents.
That's what's up. I agree with pretty much all of your assessment of that, except the last part. Let us spoil it for you, because that's what we're doing right now. So
Yeah.
if you're watching this, you're going to get spoiled. But you should go see it anyway.
Or agree with us if you've already seen it.
There you go. Yeah.
Or don't agree with us and put it in the comments.
There you go. All right, so you heard Kaz's opinion. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. All right, so we're going to move it on over here to Stretch. Stretch, tell us what you thought about the movie.
So, in the last spoiler-free review, I said that I was not as big a fan of this movie in that I did not... It was not something that I would normally sit down and enjoy.
Yeah.
It is very much trying to be at the same time a Joker origin story and an introspective look into society and how it can really mess somebody up. I think both of those ideas are really good and interesting to explore, but putting them together both suffered because of it. It is not a comic book movie. Let me rephrase that. It is not a typical comic book movie. It follows the exact same storyline and almost tropes. I think I was talking about it earlier, where I compared it to Black Panther and almost lined up completely.
Yeah,
with
the structure of it plays like your typical
comic book
superhero movie.
The origin story with the origin of the Joker. It is set in Gotham. There's I think I heard Nolan Street. So there was a lot of little nods and Easter eggs. Arkham Asylum. Do you mind if I do the end with the Waynes? Can I go ahead and do this? This is the part that really bothered me, because you go out of your way to tell us that it's not a comic book movie, and this is a big spoiler, but at the end we see the Waynes die again.
Yeah. In
a movie that isn't about Batman. Well, it's not supposed to be about Batman, and is supposed to focus on the Joker, isn't supposed to be a comic book movie, isn't supposed to remind us about comic books, then why do that? Why show us, at this point, one of the most iconic origins that you can possibly do?
The pearls.
The pearls, the Thomas Wayne.
And you're literally waiting for it.
And you know what's happening because he comes out of the theater. It's like, as soon as they're not going to do this. And then your mind is like, well, of course they're doing it, because you see Thomas and Martha Wayne walking out with little baby Bruce in tow. So, of course, you're going to see him get offed.
Yeah, here we go.
So, go ahead and tell everybody it's not a comic book movie and all of this, but, don't focus on it being in a comic book world.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my biggest issue with it, and I think what took me out of the movie as a whole was that part at the end, because then it was like, okay, everything that we were doing that was artsy, everything that we were doing that was introspective and making you think, oh yeah, but it's still Batman, he's still gonna put on the suit, and he's still gonna go do his thing, because this is it, this is how it starts. So, if you wanted to do a dark introspective of society messing with somebody, do that movie. If you wanted to do a Joker origin story and tie it into the origins of Batman, do that story.
Yeah.
Don't put them together and expect them to both be better because of it. This is a case where the sum of the parts do not make the whole better.
Yeah.
It suffers from it, in my opinion. So that's why I said I wasn't really keen on sitting down and enjoying this one. If that's your thing, go for it. It wasn't mine. That is primarily the big reason why. And that's kind of really what I got to say for it.
All right. So you heard it right there. That's Stretch's opinion. Let us know what you think down in the comments if you've seen it, or after you go see it. Let us know what you think.
Yep.
All right. So
I can take it.
all right. So to kind of wrap it up, I am definitely in agreement with both of you guys on some key points.
Okay.
So one thing I want to really dive into though is, and once again, spoilers all over the place. I wasn't, and here's why. I know we talked about it a little bit. I know the ending bothered you a lot.
Yes.
Right, as far as, them showing the retelling of...
the first ending, because I really feel like there were two endings.
Sure.
The actual ending I really did enjoy. I thought that was a great way to cap off this movie. The Wayne thing, I almost felt like that was just put in, like, almost somebody said, we gotta have it happen.
It was forced, like I said earlier. Yeah.
Well, okay, and that's where I slightly disagree with y'all.
Okay.
Right now, I'm not saying that I just loved it, right? I'm not saying that I just loved that they put that in there. They could have left it out and I'd have been, it wouldn't have fazed me one way or the other.
Okay.
But here's why I wasn't as surprised by it. The movie was building up to that the whole time.
Yeah, I mean...
So one of the things Stretch pointed out was this movie definitely dives into how society can take someone who's already damaged and damage you further and drive you to the point of no return, right?
That's basically the sum of the movie.
But it also had a slight hinge. I remember we talked about it where it was almost, and this was, I liked it, but this was also a problem. The movie was trying to do and be too many things. Mm-hmm. So not only was it a social commentary piece on how we treat people with mental disabilities or mental handicaps, and them trying to function in society. You pointed out that great line that he wrote down. What was it about?
The worst part of having mental illness is people expect you to behave thinking as if you don't.
If you don't, yeah.
I mean, like,
he's already behaving in his mind as well as he can.
Right.
And they're like, well, you need to behave better than that.
Yeah. I mean,
how?
I'm already pushed to my limit. So I mean, it touched upon like some really deep things, and socially it really stops and makes you think. But then another one that it touched on, and this is why I felt it kept building to this, is really touching on the wage gap that we have going on, not just in this country, but pretty much all over the world.
Sure.
They really talk about that, and they literally make Thomas Wayne a character you have no sympathy for.
Right.
Like, you have no sympathy for him.
Yeah, and that would have been fine to explore it in that. It just felt way too forced to have him at the end where
No. I get why you feel that way, but what I'm saying is, I guess for me, I wasn't surprised because that was such a huge thread of the movie.
Okay.
Even in the scene when he finally gets on to the talk show with Robert De Niro's character, that's one of the things they touch on in there.
Yeah.
So to me, it was kind of building to it the whole time. So when it did pop, while I wasn't like, oh man, like blown away, at the same time it was like, oh, okay.
Just what you should have expected, I guess.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
So
I'm thinking of it.
Well, where I agree with you on that is what you had said off camera earlier about that night. It was basically both of their personas were born that night. So
now,
when you said that, I agree with
that. I thought that scene was shoehorned in because they show the murder of Bruce's parents, right? Mm-hmm. And then from the way that they shot it, the perspective that they shot it, which I'm going to come back to here in a minute, it's really not centered on Bruce.
No, that's true.
Right?
It does put the parents and the shooter in the foreground.
Yeah. But so that's why I thought this one was more cheap. There's a like little montage of scenes that they put together at the end, and one of them they flash back to, because you were like, why did they go back to that? And then they flash back to Bruce standing there, his parents dead on either side of him, and so I felt like that was more them really trying to shoehorn in the Batman stuff, showing that the Joker's personality, the Joker persona, and the Batman persona are birthed on the same night that this kind of riot happens that the Joker inadvertently causes.
Yeah, but it still puts it on the Batman, though. It still makes
that's
the Batman story.
No, that's what I'm saying. That was the part of it that I thought was more shoehorned in.
Okay.
And they just shown the murder and then went on and did the rest of the movie without that scene. I think, okay, maybe it wouldn't have bothered you as much.
Maybe because they do. It just felt like in a story about the Joker, why focus any aspect on the Batman?
Sure.
Like, and especially, and again, you can't believe any build up, but at least with Marvel, they take stuff out of their trailers.
Well, I was just about to say, even with Venom, we got Zero Spider-Man.
Yeah,
So-
and they took stuff out of their trailers to not, so it's like, yeah, we'll show you the scene, but it might not be the scene that's in there. In this one, so much of the build-up was like, there's no Batman. We're not doing anything with Batman. Maybe, Thomas Wayne's there, but he's kind of this background, and I was cool with him being in the background. Even the weird subplot that he may or may not be Thomas's son, which was, okay, it's like, not really sure why it was there. But there's so much in this movie that I'm not sure why it was there, other than to either make you think the Joker's crazy or know the Joker's crazy.
Yeah.
But, it just, to even focus that much of it, it's like, well, it's Batman.
Definitely a lot of the stuff with the Waynes and the Batman stuff that they put in there were.
I think that was studio.
Yeah, probably the studio really wanted to push for that, and like you pointed out, it felt like two different movies, and they were like, oh, we need more Batman, we need more DC, so people make the connection.
Needs more cowbell.
Needs more cowbell. Needs more Batman.
Needs more joy buzzers.
But I do want to touch on this. There was some. I know it seems like we're really ragging on the movie, so let me talk about a couple of things that were really good. First and foremost, Joaquin Phoenix, holy man, he owned this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, from every little quirk to just how he physically looked to the overall transformation that he goes through from literally Arthur Fleck to turning into the Joker. I mean, it is a literal, you see the guy transform through the movie.
Yeah.
Amazing. Robert De Niro, he's a great actor, of course, but besides Joaquin Phoenix, everybody except Robert De Niro is playing off of Joaquin. Robert De Niro owns his scenes and brings all of his presence.
It's not even like they're competing. It's just, that's Robert De Niro's character, and that's Joaquin Phoenix's character.
But so they did a great job acting, and I mean all of the people acting around Joaquin Phoenix did a really good job responding and off of him. So you really did feel like he was in a real world. You didn't feel like it was just a bunch of people making believe. Many parts of it, you almost felt as if you were watching like a documentary almost on a guy dealing with his mental illness and how the system is failing him. So I really did enjoy that. And if I were to separate all of the Batman parts of the movie and threaded those together in its own movie, I probably would have enjoyed that as well. The movie was just trying to be too many things at the same time.
Yeah.
So each portion, you start to get into this one part of the movie where it's about this guy dealing with his problems. And then boom, we switch over here to maniacal laughing and turning into
Early
the Joker. Right? So let me catch on the ride with this, and you start getting into it, and then boom, now we switch back over here to mental illness guy. But now, what's real? What am I looking at here? Is he really dating this girl?
Right.
Is this in his head? Does she even exist? Did she die?
The combos with his mom, I was like, it's this whole Thomas thing in his head.
And
Everything.
man, and on that scene, and I know this is so nitpicky. This is super nitpicky, but it bothered me. And if y'all saw it, if you already saw it, then maybe it bothered you too. But if you haven't, go back and look. You'll see what I'm saying. When he kills his mother, he suffocated her, right?
Yeah.
How did she die? When she still had the oxygen plugs in her nose. She still had it in her nose. So she's getting oxygen even though you got the...
Well, we never actually heard the flatline.
Well, no, that's what I was about to say. You hear the beeping slowly and go down, and then it just silence. I was like, that's what started making me question with the year and the tech, and I was like, hold on, did it not flatline back then? Many questions.
Yeah.
So many questions.
There's a few moments where you're just like, what the heck? Like you said, the dancing started to get a little bit much. I mean, just as the movie went
a little
on,
bit more sparingly.
The stair scene, fine. When he's on those stairs and he's doing that, I don't know how he didn't fall. The way he's balancing on one leg, he's a tall guy in that shot, and then I'm just like, dude, he's leaning back way too far. Thought he was gonna bite it, but
yeah, there was that. So overall, I mean, there's some really interesting things happening in this movie, and whoever did the cinematography, I mean, hats off to him. It was a really, it was just, I mean, it captured. We debated on this, so Stretch didn't feel like it looked like Gotham to him. He was looking for more of the
Tim Burton. I want the Tim Burton. I like the Tim Burton Gotham. Even
His
though
take on
Gotham,
Gotham
yeah,
is
the just.
over neon lights any day.
I'm saying like this very
Shots
much
fired,
felt
shoot.
like.
Sorry.
This felt like 70s, 80s New York.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Reminded me
cool.
of Last Action Hero, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
But for me, when I think of Gotham, I think of the comics and I think of the Tim Burton movies, or even the animated series, where it's Gotham itself is almost this anachronistic city that exists in present day, but still feels like it's almost the 30s or 40s kind of.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Tim Burton made Gotham feel like
It
a
almost
place
was
you don't want to go.
Yeah, it was almost
ever.
a character itself.
Not on its
in the
best
movie.
day, you know.
Y'all didn't get that feeling from what they created with this?
I mean,
You'd want to go? I wouldn't.
It looked like his trek home sucked, having to go up
Yeah,
the
I'm not
stairs
saying
and back
I'm
down
gonna live
and all that.
where
No,
Arthur Fleck lived. But it looked like there's some decent parts of that city you could eke out a living. I'm just saying.
Alright, I'm not gonna get into that part of the debate because then I'll have all of New York mad at me. But I'll tell you this much: late 1970s, early 80s New York.
I'm good. It's good. Steer clear of that.
But all right, we'll leave that one where it is. But I did feel that the cinematography was really great. I mean, just the way they weave things together. It's a really great looking movie. It's just a lot of different things. So, you know, you may go in, you're probably going to feel like, if not one of us, maybe all three, because it's so much stuff going on.
maybe that was the point.
Yeah.
They wanted you to be
Well,
as crazy as the Joker
and
by
you
the
know
time
what?
you leave.
Hey.
I just figured it out.
Yeah, and you know what? That was the last thing I was going to say, that this movie does mess with your head on.
Yes,
Big
it
time,
does.
big time.
He even says it at the end. Comedy is subjective, and good and bad is subjective, right? So it makes you, when you step back and think about it, and the way the movie messes with your perception so much, that may be the overall point of the whole movie.
Well, they said we're all the bad guy in somebody's story.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so I mean, depending on how you view things and how you look at it, in certain pieces of the movie, you have to question, whose perspective am I even watching right now? Is it Arthur Fleck's? Because they show you, I'm not gonna say early, but they show you right when you're starting to be like, hey, because you were thinking it, I leaned over and said
We're all
to you,
thinking it.
like, are they? Where is the shoe gonna drop here? What's real and what
There's
isn't?
definitely a Fight Club moment where they go back
Yeah.
and they show you where I guess reality did happen and what he versus what he saw.
Yeah, they did.
what
They
we
did
saw.
flash in the pan that.
But again, that's still up in the air if that was the definitive
Absolutely,
it.
and it's just one piece of the movie too. So
Yeah.
So between them building up to him turning into the Joker, you know, he's running out of his medication. They're shutting the program down, all of that stuff. So you really, when you think back over the movie, you're like, how much of this did we even really see? Because they speak to a couple of murders, so we at least know the murder with the three guys on the subway happened.
Right.
But anything after that is all speculative.
Yeah. So definitely worth a couple more viewings and watchings.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to break this one down.
So
We may return to it.
yeah, we may have to do that. We'll come back, watch this movie again after it comes out on streaming or whatever, and then we'll give it another view and talk about it again. But we'd love to hear y'all's opinions. Tell us what you think. Have you seen the movie yet? Did this make you want to go see it? Did you just like, oh my God, you guys have just ruined this entire movie for me,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
saw
never
it
gonna
before
go
you
see
saw
it?
this.
Yeah, we warned you, so I have no sympathy.
We ain't put it all out there because I
Thomas
still have some
Wayne.
questions. In fact, I'm gonna ask it. What do you think happened to the chick? Is she alive or not?
Yeah. Oh,
That just left like the way he walked out of the apartment is, did you kill her or not?
Yeah.
Because you put a fake gun to your head. And
Man.
you scared the shit out of her being in there. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Edit. All right.
Yeah.
And on
Not
that
this
note,
time, not me.
On that note, with Street Nerdz TV, give us a check us out right here. Ring the bell. Give us a subscribe. Follow, like, comment, all that good stuff. And then
All
don't
the
forget,
YouTubes.
all the YouTubes. Check us out on all of that. Don't forget, check us out on Facebook as well. We got some of the best memes going out there, baby. Y'all know what it is. Facebook.com/Street Nerdz with a ZTV.